One of my favorite tricks in bodyboarding is a drop knee air roll spin, or as you've probably heard it referred to more as an ARS. It's super flashy, feels satisfying when done properly, and is a really easy trick to help incorporate momentum into a combo. But what exactly is an ARS? So, drop knee ARS is a trick mostly known on a flat wave as a DK roll like maneuver that starts in drop knee and ends in prone. But what makes this trick special, and how do you end up getting to prone? So, picture a three-dimensional Cartesian coordinate system. I know I just lost half of y'all there, but just trust me on this. Uh, it's really just a space defined with an x, y, and z axis. Every trick we do spins around one or multiple of these axes. For example, a 360 rotates around the z axis, while a prone barrel roll just rolls around the y axis. An ARS flip primarily rotates around the z and y axes, and a little bit of that x axis. And the little bit of the x axis rotation there that you do, it's really what gives it that satisfying feeling when you land one properly. Most riders find it pretty quickly that doing a DK roll to prone isn't that hard to do. When you only flip around the Z and Y axes, you get this straight roll down to prone that is a good stepping stone to getting to an ARS, but it's not exactly that. There are a few riders that do this intentionally, right? So a good example that comes to my mind is Nick Sanchez. He was the first rider that I can remember watching growing up that really put an emphasis on combos in his bodyboarding runs. He very rarely did big explosive tricks, but focused more on clean, consistent combos that were efficient. A regular DK roll to prone takes less energy to throw than an ARS, since you really need power and amplitude to complete the rotation. And that would just really help him, just continue to crank out those combos. So, how do you do an ARS? In order to understand bodyboarding tricks, I'm going to break them down into three stages: takeoff, flight, and landing. So I find that starting the trick from the top of the wave gives me the best setup for maximum amplitude. So in this case, since the trick isn't like a really carve heavy trick, we're less likely to blow out the back of the wave, and we can take advantage of that higher elevation. So start at 360 and immediately lean your body weight forward. Halfway through your 360, drop your foot that's on top of the board in your drop knee position down to the bottom of the board for better leverage. At 3/4 of the way through, start your roll by bumping down onto the board with your upper body and core muscles, and then releasing that stored energy by jumping forward. I also kind of like, when I'm doing that pump, I kind of move my knee that I have up for drop knee kind of out towards the outside part of the wave instead of like keeping my legs parallel. So they're almost more perpendicular, and that just helps me get that correct momentum, the correct flip style, and just more power. When you jump forward, you should immediately turn your head over the shoulder that is on the same side of your body as the direction you're spinning. I know that sounds confusing at first, but really just if you're spinning clockwise, look over your right shoulder, and if you're spinning counterclockwise, look over your left shoulder. That's your 360 spin, not your barrel roll spin. While you're turning your head and looking behind you, pull in all of that released energy back in by tucking your board into your chest and bending one or both of your legs to where your heel is making contact with the back of your body. This will tighten your flip and allow you to flip all the way around. Keep your upper chest and core tight the whole time and continue to lean through your shoulder the whole time. When you land, you'll likely be halfway through a prone 360. From here, you have a choice, right? So you can either follow through and stay prone, or you can gear up to get back into drop knee. When learning, I would focus on staying prone by keeping that core tight and legs up and out of the water until you're about 3/4 of the way through the 360. And there you can drop the legs and to help you finish straightening out, just in case you need a little bit more momentum to get out. But when you've mastered that, you can try to hubcap into drop knee out of the ARS so you can learn to combo other tricks with it. So when you land, immediately start to lean into the opposite shoulder from earlier and start your barrel roll with your leg lifting up and behind you. Then let your shoulders follow and pull your board with you. As you're rolling, pull your knees into your stomach and bring your foot that you want up for drop knee onto the board and just simply roll out of it. If you start the ARS up at the top of the wave like earlier, you probably won't have too much excess carving pushing you off. You should just be good to like set up for another trick or just to ride out of it, you know? That's kind of like what I would suggest doing once you've gotten the prone figured out, just so that way, because combos, that specific trick is really, really good for combos. So now that you've learned how to get back up into drop knee and right out of it in prone, you are ready to start linking other tricks. So I'm just going to show you a couple of videos of, example combos that you can kind of, use or see if just how we link them into combos and how the trick kind of looks differently depending on what part of the combo it is. But yeah, that was how to ARS. Let me know what you think in the comments. I would like to start doing some other tricks too. I started with ARS just because it's one of my favorite tricks. I think it's just a cool trick that most people are learning. It's not super hard, but it's like one of those tricks that gets you into the difficult kind of that next advanced set of tricks. ARS, rodeo to prone, overload, maybe 540 big spins, depending if you have been keeping up with your big spins and whatnot. So yeah, if you've got a specific trick that you want me to show, I'd like to try to do a little bit more of the advanced stuff first, because that's just where my passion is. But if there's like a really big, hey, I'm struggling on this, feel free to send me a message, send a comment, whatnot. I'm thinking about starting like a kind of like support email that you can like send a video to, and then I can respond to it as well. If that seems like something you're interested in, just let us know. But yeah, y'all have a good day.